This is a call for an uprising. We welcome you to today's show and ask those of you who have not subscribed to please subscribe to our YouTube channel as we continue to expose the satanic Illuminati agenda. And if you're new to the channel, I recommend you go back and watch some videos from the library to catch up on some of the Illuminati symbols that we've been exposing here, as well as some other important information to get you caught up in this awakening process as we continue to try and expose these people and wake up our brothers and sisters so they can see exactly what's going on, which is a silent war which has been waged upon us by these government elitists, the secret societies who really run the government, the synagogue of Satan, the Illuminati, whatever you want to call them. Today's show, I want to talk about Plum Island. A lot of people aren't familiar with Plum Island. Plum Island is located off of Long Island, New York, built around 1954. Quote unquote, it is an animal disease center protected under the eye of Homeland Security. I laugh because it's comical. Homeland Security and how they're trying to protect us when really Homeland Security is trying to do is kill its own people through biological warfare. And that's what this video is about, biological warfare and Plum Island. For those of you that don't know what biological warfare is, it's the use of toxins or diseases or bacteria or viruses with the intent to kill or incapacitate human beings. It's also used in silent war, which is what we're under right now. By silent war, I mean killing people off without them knowing that they're intentionally trying to kill you off by blaming it on other things. So all these diseases that come through the air, such as Ebola or Zika or any of these diseases that people just feel randomly have shown up in the world, and they don't realize that this testing has been going on through biological warfare for decades by the government elitists since Operation Paperclip, dating back even before then, using animals such as mosquitoes, such as ticks, as weapons with the intent of killing us off without us even knowing it. So you see things in the sky such as chemtrails, right? And we're aware of what the chemtrails are. I have a video on it. If you're not aware, go watch it. The chemtrails and what they're dumping on us, with the effects of it, such as Alzheimer's, cancer, all these effects. That's what silent war is. We're under attack without us knowing it because they're not telling you you're under attack. And nobody would think that anyone would do that to one another. Oh, they wouldn't do that to us, even though they have monuments in our country such as the Georgia Guidestones, which tell you that they want the population of the world at a certain number, which is 500 million, and we're at close to 8 billion. No, they wouldn't do that to their own people. So let's talk about Plum Island, what exactly it is. Like I said, it's off the shores of Long Island. And what is the reason for it being there? Well, it's there for animal disease control. Or in other words, what it's really there for is they test these diseases that they create in laboratories on animals. That's why you see all of these animals wash up off the shores of Long Island, as you can see in these photos here, that are absolutely mutilated. Some of these animals look like demons, or they look like an animal that you've never seen before. You know why? Because they are animals you've never seen before. Because they put viruses and all of these things inside of these animals, trying to see if they can use them for biological warfare, trying to see what the results of all of the testing that they do in their labs could actually do to human beings. And they test it on these animals, and they put the diseases inside the animals to see if they can pass it on to humans, or if the animal can survive with these diseases that they've created. And you see the mutilation in all of these animals that wash up off the shores of Plum Island. What a coincidence. It's right off the shores there that these mutilated animals are washing up. But they won't tell you what they really are. They just ignore it and wipe it right underneath the rug. Or I should say sweep it right underneath the rug. Now, Plum Island, if you don't know, is linked to Lyme's disease. How would you say? Well, in 1975, the first outbreak of Lyme's disease was in Connecticut, right off of the shores of Plum Island, where they were doing testing with ticks, where they were putting diseases inside of ticks with the intent of the ticks going and biting humans and passing the disease through biological warfare. Now, they'll deny it. Of course they'll deny it. Why wouldn't they deny it? You think they're going to come out and admit it, that they created Lyme's disease, that they've spread Lyme's disease throughout the United States of America, throughout the world? Of course they wouldn't admit it. They claim that all of the testing that they do on these animals are destroyed at the end, that they kill these animals off. which is a complete lie, although they do kill millions of innocent animals, unfortunately. The intent here is to create these diseases, such as Lyme disease, or another one, if you're interested in knowing that they've created on this island, goes under the name of West Nile virus. Yes, another disease they put inside of mosquitoes and then send them out into the open. So you see where I'm coming from here, what we're trying to say, what I'm trying to say, what this channel's trying to say? How these animals such as mosquitoes, animals that which bite you and can infect you with these diseases, do you really believe that they randomly occur when they're doing this testing openly on Plum Island, where they admit to doing animal disease center, as they call it, but they admit to studying and performing these experiments inside of laboratories where they test these diseases on animals? They put them inside of bugs such as mosquitoes or ticks, knowing that they bite you and can pass it on to you. These diseases such as Zika don't just randomly show up. Ebola doesn't randomly show up. They created these diseases, but they want you to think is that these diseases randomly show up because they know that we have a population so dumbed down that they would never say, wait a minute. Ebola had outbreaks from somewhere. What? Is the result of Ebola like somebody walking in water or drinking water that has fecal matter in it and then they get Ebola? Like, how would the first person who got Ebola in Africa get it? There's no answer to that. Nobody goes, well, the reason that one individual person got it was because he was bit by this bug. Oh, so this one bug happened to have it. Where did it come from? Oh, it just came out of the sky? It just fell out of the sky with this disease and passed it to one person, who passed it to 2 people, who passed it to 20,000 people. Right? They want you to believe that because they know you're not going to ask questions and then go deeper and go, how did this happen? Where did it first come from? Where's the first report of the outbreak of the disease? And then how did it occur? The bug just woke up one day and was like, oh, I'm not feeling so good. I got Lyme's disease. And then bit somebody and gave it to them? Of course not. Now, they'll let you believe in instances like this, even though they deny the existence of God, they'll let you believe God is real in instances like this because they know that people will go, why does God cause all these diseases? They cause these diseases. They cause Zika and Ebola. They create them in laboratories. But you'll even hear atheists and all of these stupid sheep out there that don't believe in Jesus Christ, Yeshua. They go, oh, you believe in a God that would cause disease and harm to people? You're kidding me, right? These people, Satan creates these diseases. You know how? Under his thumb, these people who work for him, who he's financed, who control our world, create these diseases in laboratories. Then they do testing, which they've learned from Nazi Germany, on these animals who can pass it through the air. Okay? And then they go out and they spread these diseases. That's how they spread. They don't just wake up. Well, somebody doesn't just wake up one day with Ebola because one bug just so all of a sudden got Ebola and then bit him, or got Lyme's disease and just bit him. They put it in these bugs, these animals, and they spread it. It's biological warfare. Now, people have even said birds fly over Plum Island, land on Plum Island, eat on Plum Island. And from there, animals like birds can pick up these diseases and spread them by coming off the shores. There's no protection from this. They pretend like it's offshore, it's safe, nothing can spread from here, even though, 30 miles away or whatever miles away, 50 miles away, you can have Connecticut or you can have Long Island sitting right there. Because the people are so dumb and dumbed down that they allow these things to happen. What good is coming from this animal disease center? They make you think with Homeland Security's tag on it that it's to protect us in case ISIS comes over and then they spread a bug disease and we'll have a cure for it. These things are all set up to kill us, not protect us from others. They're not trying to protect you. They're trying to kill you silently. They're not going to come to your door. They don't need to come to your door with a gun and point it to your head and assassinate you. They can do it this way, through biological warfare. And then they go on the TV and they go, this is why all this stuff is happening. And everyone goes, oh. And then they hear someone like me talk. They go, you're crazy. Why would the government want to do that to you? I don't know. It's pretty clear based on the Georgia Guidestones, based on all of these elitists like Bill Gates, like Ted Turner, who come out and say we need population control, that there's too many people. Even though if you drove across the United States of America, there are thousands of miles of open land that they own, that they won't allow anyone to live on. They want you squeezed into a city or somewhere where they can keep an eye on you. But they want population control. They want people dead. They want us dead. We know they're satanic, okay? We know that they're occultic. Their rituals are occultic. It goes back to ancient Egypt. All of these people at the top practice the same things. And one of their number one goals is population control. And they're not going to do it by force. They don't need to drive a military tank down your road and show up at your house. Like, that's what everybody's waiting for. They're going, oh, the New World Order is coming. I've got my guns ready. They could wipe you off with a bomb. They could wipe you off as fast as they want that way. They're doing it through biological warfare, silent war. You know why? Because it's a win-win for them. They kill you off. You blame it on God or something else, but they want you to blame it on God, so you turn on God. But you never look in their direction because you would never think or fathom that they would do something like that to you. In a silent war, it's a one-sided war. It's called silent for a reason. They're waging war on their own citizens, on us. It's silent because we aren't aware that it's going on. There are people like me who are aware, but the rest of the people are asleep. And when they hear stuff like this, they refuse to believe it. They'd rather sleep, get Lyme's disease, and die than ever blame it on their government, ever investigate it. They'd rather sit in their cars listening to Rihanna talk about having sex and all of these things than investigate what's really going on in our world, because they've dumbed us down to the point of we can't process a thought. We can't question where these diseases come from. People don't even know what the word biological warfare means. And like I said, they would never think that it would be their government behind it. They blame God before they blame the government. They'd say, how could God give me or my daughter or my son this disease? How could he do that? What a bad God he is. Meanwhile, they're creating them. They're creating the diseases. You can look it up yourself. They'll admit that they they do biological testing there and in these places. But the sheep are so deep asleep. They want to believe that their government's here to protect them and that, ooh, this God in heaven is the bad person. He's the one that creates all these diseases like cancer and all this stuff going around. And that's how they continue to turn people against God, continue to turn people against Jesus Christ, Yeshua. They continue to do it through all this stuff. Because it isn't just biological warfare, it's mental warfare. It's mind control. So Plum Island sits there and it exists, and these diseases they create there, if you're wondering where Lyme's disease or West Nile virus or these things come from, they create them. They've been creating them. And they continue to create them. And soon there'll be another new disease coming out. Trust me, there'll be another one. That's how they'll get you into the FEMA camps. They'll create a disease that'll spread from mosquitoes. Everybody will be paranoid. They'll trick you into going, you have to go in here and get quarantined, and get your shots, and we'll get everyone better. And then you'll never be let out. And then you'll be really drugged down, like Nazi Germany style. That is the goal. That is what's going to occur. So don't fall for this stuff thinking that these diseases just pop up because they create them. Look into Plum Island. Look at these mutilated animals that wash up offshore. They look like dragons or some demonic animal. I mean, look at them. They're not normal. They just wash up offshore. They dump the body in the water. They jump up on shore. People go, what is that? And then people go, I don't know. Oh, it looks like it's some kind of I don't know. Was it like a pig or something at first? And then maybe the water turned it into that? Yeah, okay. All right. Nobody wants to believe this stuff's going on, but you can look into it because you know why? They can't hide it. All they can do is slap the tag of Homeland Security on it so people feel protected by it. Oh, Homeland Security. Well, we must be safe then. Yeah, we must be safe. Homeland Security set up for biological warfare so they can silently take out their own citizens. Welcome to the United States of America. Keep strong in your prayer. Stay strong in your faith in Jesus Christ Yeshua. That is the only truth, the only way, and the only life is through him. And we have to remember that these people are sick and they will go to any means necessary to wipe us out. And that's exactly what they're doing. Thank you for listening to today's show. I greatly appreciate it. God bless all of you. May peace be with you and your families.